Most are highly social and have intelligence beyond our comprehension. Like wildebeest and zebra on the African plains, tangs and parrotfish often graze together. Both fish are herbivores and dine on algae and even live coral. Other species converge on the reef crest. This area is exposed to wave action and lots of sunlight and is rich in nutrients. Fish like this rock mover wrasse literally move rocks in the search of worms and mollusks. Dining this way is hard work, and they're not always willing to share their patch. Others excavate the substrate and swallow large mouthfuls of sand. Their bodies are specially designed to filter the sand for algae, dispelling waste through their gills. Access to the reef crest is limited. It's only at certain tides and during calm seas that it's possible to feed here. When all the conditions are right, fish arrive from miles around to take advantage of this rare opportunity. Some are in couples, others dine alone, and completely different species feed side by side. It's biodiversity at its best. Eccentric earth movers like triggerfish also join the dinner party. They use their powerful beaks to cast aside whole chunks of coral as they search for clams, shrimp, and crabs. They're much too busy to worry about their table manners. Like a human city, a reef boasts an eclectic jumble of characters conducting themselves in a variety of ways. There are loners and drifters. There are clandestine meetings and underground movements. There are the watchful and the wary, and different forms of self-expression. As in all of our cities, strange alliances occur. And odd fashion is tolerated. Every beauty and beast has its place. Just like the terrestrial world, a reef has a 24-hour cycle. As the afternoon light begins to fade, fish like these anthias spawn with abandon, knowing that night will soon follow and conceal their eggs. Meanwhile, tiny fish shudder their bodies, indicating their readiness to mate. And countless other daytime fish are inspired by the waning light to court or breed. Here, a pair of flute mouths engage in a seductive sword dance. It's their form of foreplay, and they've been at it for hours. Over the millennia, the battle between predator and prey has fueled an evolutionary arms race under the sea. Mother Nature is always updating her designs and making old ones redundant. Animals have had to constantly refine their offensive and defensive capabilities. The result can be pure science fiction. Angler and scorpion fish are as bizarre as they come. They're expert mimics of sponges, but have one of the fastest strikes on Earth. But they're certainly not out to win a beauty prize. When it comes to some of these creations, love is certainly blind. This myriad life has enthralled us since the beginning of human history. We did originally evolve from the sea, and ever since early humans first emerged, we've been drawn back to its shores. Seafood has been a favoured diet. Shells have been our money and jewellery. Coral limestone paves our roads. Sand cements our houses. Our myths and legends, books and films are all full of characters derived from the sea. And as light fades, these characters begin to change, and the story of coral moves into a very different narrative. Big predatory fish cruise the reef's edge, searching for a final kill. Daytime fish hurry into hiding. This is a dangerous time of transition. All across the reef, there is a changing of the guard. The night shift has begun. Little is known about our oceans. The surface of Mars is better mapped. Most living coral reefs descend to only 50 metres or so due to the reliance on sunlight. But the sea floor falls to 11 kilometres in places. This is what we call the abyss. Nighttime on the reef gives us a sense of what this abyss might be like. The inky black is very much alive and full of aliens. In special places where reefs drop to great depth, deep sea plankton rise to the surface to hunt shallow water phytoplankton. They travel hundreds of metres, they number in their billions, and they repeat the journey every night. It's one of the biggest migrations in the animal kingdom. The chase of plankton hunter and plankton prey triggers a larger chain reaction right across the nighttime reef. Baitfish snatch mouthfuls, while basking stars emerge from their lairs and extend web-like arms. The water flashes with colour as the plankton frantically communicate with one another. Coral is not an idle bystander. The reef has become a wall of mouths. The true animal nature of coral is revealed. Equipped with poisonous harpoons and acid, each polyp becomes a deadly trap from which escape is impossible. Meanwhile, catfish eat on the run. Parrotfish sleep with eyes wide open or conceal themselves in mucus cocoons. Without torches, humans are blind at night. Underwater, we'd barely know up from down. But the undersea hunters are not at all disadvantaged. Instead of sight, they use vibration, electrical impulses, and chemical traces to find what they're after. Stone walls are in fact living stone fish waiting in ambush. While the sharp teeth of stargazers lurk beneath the muck. It's easy to swim towards danger without realizing it. This anemone has become a serial killer. A lucky squid escapes, releasing ink to cover its tracks. A pipefish looks on as fish scatter and more fall victim. Down on the seabed, scavengers collect the scraps. While lionfish use their long spines to herd unsuspecting prey. There is activity in all directions as night hunters of every description eat their fill. The anglerfish is back, and now completely in its element. It may not move with grace, but that doesn't affect its chances for a kill. All it needs to do is wait for a meal to come to its mouth. When it comes to nocturnal hunting, moray eels are known for their viciousness, but other killers are not so easy to spot. Mantis shrimp are sophisticated and savage. They're armed with supreme eyesight and actively hunt live prey, while other crustaceans like lobsters scour the seafloor for leftovers. With a busy time ahead, dayfish try to sleep despite all the activity. Some drifting like ghosts in the dark. The anemone fish are also trying to sleep, but aren't finding it easy. Their flatmates, the dotted crabs, are enjoying a midnight snack. Some of the most active night prowlers are shells. Many of us only know them from shell shops or dead on the beach. But shells alive are much more precious. Gypsy caravans varnished by the oceans, constantly on the move. Darkness also suits courting mandarin fish. They have an unusually high sex drive and can spawn every night if the urge takes them.